Oh, it's not going to count down. We're live. Sorry about that. Anyway, hi, everyone. It's a good thing we weren't scratching certain areas or picking our nose. Yes, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. The good news is for Teri's daughter that she passed her massage therapist certification. The bad news for us is that she's out celebrating with her daughter, so she won't be here tonight, but she sends everybody loads of love. And I know you'll all be really happy to know that her daughter Inga passed her test. So
congratulations, Inga.
Yeah.
And Mama.
I know it. So tonight we've got Kelly Healer with us, and we got Diana Bowles, of course, here with us, and I have coming to us from Canada, Fogo Haley. Yeah, because she's got a dream she wants to tell us about that she had sent to Teri last week, but can't reach her. So, Anyway, I'm sure Andy's Healing Arts said it's not an easy test. Yeah, this is the first time she took it. So isn't that wonderful? I thought that was awesome.
They even call it her bars. So, that's like becoming a lawyer.
Sure.
Just to find the muscle that this can you tweak it?
Right?
I'm just, it's much more complicated.
Oh, sure.
It's energy stuff, man.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome. So anyway, I want to say hello to Book and of course Fogo Pogo's here, but she's with us, and S Steele. Thanks for putting in your dream. We've got a couple of dreams also coming in from Linda Bishop and Barbara Berkman, and we'll get to those. And Suzanne, it's nice to see you. And Annie Bear is here. And Froxy Roxy, Leah, Diane G, and Barbara's here. Good. And let's see who else snuck in. Ginny. Hi, Ginny. And Diane G. And Sarah, Rossi, Jules. Oh, my goodness. Who else snuck in? Charlie's here. Play Love Remembers here. Wow, we've got 32 people so far. That's pretty darn good.
Right. That's amazing.
Andy's Healing Arts, as I mentioned, and Ness is here. Yeah.
Yes.
Sonia. And and Froxy says, welcome. We love our Canadian neighbors. Yay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
I have a spare bedroom upstairs. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. You just don't know.
Don't tempt us.
I know.
Right.
I know.
I'm also
Everybody's
calling
like,
for snow tomorrow, so
oh well, I can wait a few more days.
All I have to do is walk across the bridge. Can you pick me up in Windsor?
There's a straight line. Remember, there's a straight line between the yeah.
I would say if you can make it to Ogdensburg, it's only about an hour, so that'd be a bit easier. But
all right, easier. Yeah. Hi, Carolyn, Peter. Yes. Oh, thanks,
Rossi.
Yeah. She
just posted my channel.
Yeah, that was nice of you, Rossi. Thanks so much. Just a small reminder to anybody that might be interested in, oops, I keep making a mess. If you're interested in coming to Pam Drennan, and that class is going to be on the 26th at 4:00 in the afternoon Pacific, 7 Eastern time. And she's going to be teaching us how to do calibrations. Okay. I sent you an email. I'm just, let me know if anybody's having a problem with don't have enough money to pay or whatever, we'll work it out. We'll find a way to work it out. So there you go. Yeah, very good. Hi, Julie Moon. It's good to see you. And Brenna, nice to see you too. So, and Edward, wonderful. Nice to see everybody. All right. So we're going to let Kaylee tell us her dream, that as much of it as she can remember.
Yeah.
It was last week.
Ago.
But, and then, we'll go from there. All right. So you have the floor, my dear. Yeah.
Technically, it was 2 dreams. So it's 1 dream and then it was followed by the second dream.
Okay.
So I think I would say the scarier one was first. I'm trying to remember the order of them now, too. So the first one was I'm at basically like an archaeological dig site of sorts. And we're digging up. For some reason, I know we're digging up basically the skeleton of a woman, of a queen. And while we're busy digging them up, taking the pieces out, putting them in trays to, clean them and reassemble them elsewhere. So we're doing that. But why we're doing that, my sister, so I have a younger sister, she's like kind of like laying down beside it, so we can like kind of use her as like a measure of like, oh, this is how tall she must have been or whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so we're taking the bones out, but as I'm taking the bones out, I go to take the hand out of the ground, and it turns and grabs my hand and won't let go. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get this hand off of me. I managed to get it off and into the tray, but then it kind of stands up on its own, and it does like the two, like, you know, like kind of like come here, like beckoning kind of fingers. And then of course I wake up and then have to try and continue to sleep because I don't even know what time it was in the morning. It was still dark. But anyway, I end up getting back to sleep. And then the second dream happens, and it's the one I'm more curious about.
Okay.
So we're all in a house, and I mean by all of us, it's like you, Teri, Kelly, Diana, you're all in this house together. And I just know, like, we've been hanging out. Maybe it was like a house party, you know, we're all cooking dinner, that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, I need to leave to go somewhere, but I need to get my shoes. But we're on like an upper level, and I guess it's in a lower level. And I'm like, I really don't want to go down there to get my shoes. Anyway, at some point I get my shoes. There's some disconnects kind of, you know, like how I got from one place to another. But then the next memory from being in the house, knowing you guys were all kind of there, was I end up in a forest, and there's 3 young men, all Aboriginal, you know, Indigenous, all young kind of men. So maybe like late teens, early 20s kind of feeling. And so I kind of am walking up to them, but I'm completely exhausted. I basically get to them. I kind of collapse into this one guy's kind of, he kind of catches me, and I'm barely able to kind of hold my own weight. What was interesting is that I didn't recognize his face necessarily, but I recognized his energy. His energy was familiar. So I don't know if he was maybe a guide of mine, looking younger than I've met him last, because I do know I have at least one Indigenous guide that I had dreams of years ago. But anyway, but the 3 guys are kind of, you know, joking, be like, hey, you know, when he asks one of the other guys, you know, okay, can you come on over and help me kind of hold her up, carry her? Yeah. So, you know, so they come over, and they're like, well, she can barely stand, let alone walk. So we're going to fly. And so the next thing I remember is flying over these like mountains and valleys and everything. And I'm looking down, you know, no big deal. But as I'm looking down on this mountain, there's, I'm going to say, a Hindu god or goddess climbing down this mountain. So blue skinned, everything like some of the Hindu gods are. Blue skinned, like ornately dressed, had almost like a saber type sword in his hand as he was climbing down this mountain. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting, but don't think anything of it. Next thing I remember is seeing this kind of top of a mountain, like a plateau, I guess, like a flat top mountain. And Ganesha with the elephant head is laying kind of on his back, basically being held at sword point by another blue god. Again, I don't know who necessarily. And basically I go and yell like, no, stop. Like, why are you doing this? And telepathically, all I hear is, this is meant to happen. It's okay. And then I woke up.
Did you ever read the Bhagavad Gita? Have you ever read the Bhagavad Gita?
No, I haven't. No. But anyway, it was just...
Yeah, it's very interesting. You've got some components in there.
But it was like that first dream followed by that second dream all in one night. Yeah.
And yes,
what was interesting is the first dream, I was like, I knew that it was a Macedonian queen. Later, did I not, like, over the weekend, I found an article they've just dug up or just found like a new, like, missing Macedonian kingdom they didn't know existed in some archaeological dig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Caffrey.
Yeah.
Caffrey.
Yeah. And that was after 2-3 days after the dream. So I'm like, okay, watch them find a skeleton or something.
Well, was that dream for you while you were describing it?
Yeah.
That grabbing your hand, that's ancestral. And the fact that your sister was lying down next to this body for the sake of measurement or whatever,
Yeah.
I do believe that she's telling you, but I'm your sister. And that's why she was calling you back to give you that message.
Right.
This is Callie.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
the
that
sec-
would make sense for the one climbing down the mountain. That's for
there's,
sure.
there's the beheaded
Mhm.
Ganesh.
Mhm. But that Ganesh doesn't have a head like that, is
But
it?
he did before his mom put an elephant's head back on him.
But he had the elephant head in
Okay.
the dream, which is what I think confused me, because I'm like, he already has
Sure.
the elephant head, so why is he being held at sword point again? But
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows?
Regeneration. That's regeneration,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. And an elephant, what? Never forgets and always tells the truth. Just ask Horton.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Seriously. So
Yeah, the architecture, I mean, I think it all really goes together. I know it's two different dreams, but it does sound like it does because you got the
Mhm.
architecture. So you got digging up the facts, digging things up. And then
don't you
go
I'm
ahead. Diane.
sorry. I just wondered what your take is. Don't you think that these two different time frames are related? Callie to the Macedonian queen. Even though that dream came later, it's showing you more of your heritage from the gods of India as well as from the Sanskrit
Mhm.
to the hieroglyph.
Wow. Yeah.
It really feels like past life stuff
Yeah.
for me. I mean,
Mm.
that you were going through it and working through this past life. And I do agree that it was your sister, letting you know that, she literally was your sister in a past life.
Yeah.
But I also think that, that hand coming out, it could symbolize, that maybe you're needing a little extra help right now, a little bit more assistance,
Yeah.
just some support, extra support in your life.
Very true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the two dreams do kind of coincide, but they do feel like they could, for me, it feels like it could have been two different lifetimes.
Mhm. It's very possible. The fact that she was exhausted, she's trying to find her shoes, and that's how we walk through life. But and then they're down in the basement because I'm getting that you were like in a higher tier and you had to go down below to get them, which then you had to come back up. That was exhausting in some ways. And then eventually you are confronted with these guides, I think, of yours. And what was the other thing you said that was so important? That you just were starting to fly all the way around. And of course, there's your astral projection. So
yes.
wow.
Well, it was interesting when I told Teri briefly about it during the meditation, like the morning after. And she thought that maybe that initial first kind of guide that I met in the forest, she said that she felt a connection to Richie. So that'll be interesting to see when I meet him in Sedona, if I get the same.
Yeah. Well, that we're all connected anyway, but it will be like seeing somebody you already known before.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Well,
and the second floor. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Go. All over the place. I got the card, The Crossing. And we're walking up and walking down the two different time eras of the time of the Hindi gods and then the real queen of Macedonia. So, we're all star seeds. This is it comes from the sky. Who was Zoroaster? He was a giant that was in a big old spaceship with his tongues of fire. So I think the crossing this is a time for you to understand how many lifetimes there's spanned and crossing from one. It's more like a hopping from one time zone to another.
Yeah. Wow. Kelly, did you want to say something?
Well, the second floor, in a house, typically, the house is where we feel comfort and safe and whatnot. And I think it's so cool that we were all there with you. And what I think, the second floor kind of symbolizes our intuition. And, it could be that, obviously we're all together, we're all connected, but we're all leveling up together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And I think Teri actually said that that's night that I had that dream. She had a dream that she was like, I guess, in a house she had been in growing up as a child. It was the same night.
Okay.
And she's like, you guys were all there. And so I'm like, okay, was it the same house?
Wow.
Well, I think that's a crossover with all of us, because we were chatting about that in our hey, what kind of dream did you have? Did you know you were at my house the next morning? So, oh wow, there you go.
So I just want to add in a little bit about what the Bhagavad Gita does. So Arjuna, on the eve of war, is overwhelmed by grief and doubt, questioning his duty to fight against his own family and friends. Krishna guides him through teachings, including the importance of fulfilling one's dharma, the impermanence of the physical body, the nature of the soul. And then Krishna reveals his cosmic form to Arjuna, demonstrating divine nature of the universe. And then it says here that the Bhagavad Gita offers a philosophical framework for understanding life, duty, and the path to spiritual realization. And it also talks about the fact that there is a thing called moksha, which is liberation from rebirth over and over again. And so some of the components we talked about really resonated with me, because I read that back in the 90s. I couldn't remember it all, but it just rung true. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for listening to my dream.
Of course, I think it was a fabulous dream. Yeah.
That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing it with us.
I think you should keep your shoes on the top floor, though, so you don't have to get down into the basement.
Yeah.
Thanks,
agree.
Kaylee. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Callie.
Yeah. So standing in the light, Annie, we are all getting off that wheel as we ascend, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Right.
We have that choice. And yes, there is Hanuman, who is the monkey that's in that as well. In that
and sometimes you find him on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah. Wow. Well, that was a great beginning. I loved hearing it. Yeah, really was. It was great. So welcome everybody that's come in since we started. That was Kaylee. And those of you who don't know, Teri's daughter passed her certification to be a massage therapist today. So they're out celebrating. And so she's not going to be with us tonight, but I told her she needs to go. That's something you got to celebrate. So
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So the next dream I got was written for me earlier, and I cut and pasted it. And Linda Bishop sent it in. One of the things she tells me at the end when she's writing this is that she has prophetic dreams a lot. So I want you to think about that while you're looking at this, because this seems pretty straightforward, but maybe not. Let's put it that way. All right. So here's the dream she had. There's a middle-aged-ish man, dark hair, an attorney, and a military man talking to a religious leader. They are discussing an old man who was married 3 times, who has an iron grip on the government that he is ahead of. No one has the courage to stop the old leader from the lawlessness, hurting the people and totally destroying the country. But the religious leader says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. God will take care of him on the other side. Dark-haired man says, you can have him when he gets to the other world. But here, in this world, hold on, try to get to the next thing. On this ground, his ass is mine. So she says she's had many dreams. This dream tells me that the Pentagon or military law are going to be taking action, but no time frame. A previous dream she had, we were standing in a long line, and by the time we got to the front to purchase whatever our clothes were in rags. and they took most of our money for tiny amounts of products. She's saying maybe it's the end of June or July. Swiftly at first, no warning, and then drag it out in the courts.
Oh. Well, that was in the news today a couple of times and a couple of different things.
Yep. Yeah. I know. One of the things that I need you all to know, which a lot of people don't understand, is that the International Criminal Court, America is a part of that.
Yeah.
So they don't come after us because we're a part of that.
That's right.
We're part of that group. We go after others. So no International Criminal Court is going to come after this person. Okay.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean that it couldn't be somebody in the Pentagon, somebody, first thing I said was, I hope it was Jack Smith as well. So I totally get it.
It would be total vindication. Yeah.
All right. So that was early this morning dream that you had, Linda, before any of this thing that happened with El Salvador or the courts or any of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh,
Paul, are you here? White Dragon, are you here?
He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah. And Charlie says maybe Iran, and Iran has a hit on the person that the dream is about, I believe. Paul says, I always thought the military will intervene and collect them all and try them in military court, but there is no time frame. Yeah.
Well, and
that's what she was getting. Yeah.
And there's parts of it, Paul, that remind me of things that you have said about battles when you oh my God, the next morning after having a dream or having been in a battle. And so I wonder if you and Linda are sharing some of these dreams also, and just to light yet on that.
All right. That's very possible. Wow. Linda says in 1973, she was a Hare Krishna devotee, but on the fringe, still in society. So she just, you were a weekend warrior, so to speak, Linda. You didn't live as a Hare Krishna in a commune or anything. I get you. Okay. Yep.
Krishna, Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare, Hare, Hare Rama.
So, Kel, what do you think?
I think it was, she got a little glimpse into the future. I did pull 2 cards, and I got patience, and I think that's something that we all need to have. And I know for myself, it's not my forte, but we need to have patience in order for everything to get sorted out. And then I thought this was interesting. I pulled record, and this is going to go down in the records. This will be taught in years and years and years to come, what has transpired in this in this presidency.
Wow.
I bet you do, Linda.
Yeah.
Did you get a card or?
I did, and guess what I got? And I'm wearing this shirt that says "Practice Radical Empathy." That's what it says.
I love it.
Empathy.
I love it.
So, Linda, they know you can handle the information, and Paul just said that you're probably on the team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Well,
100%.
I got navigation.
Wow.
And then I had to look at the bottom, because I always do. And on the bottom was the reinforcements. So, Paul, Linda, you have lots of work that the rest of us will join you in. No doubt. No doubt.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's very prophetic, Linda. I really do believe. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. We were trying to figure out in the beginning when we were talking about it before we came on, and who the dark-haired person was, but I don't think it really matters. I think it's just what do you call it?
There's such a group of them.
There are a group of them. That's very true. Yeah.
They were younger when they had dark hair.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Oh, right. That was what, 4 days ago? This last decisive
Okay.
battle you're talking about.
Okay. And that's interesting because Kaylee was so exhausted. And you have to wonder if she was there too.
Right? Feeding the masses, remember?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Kelly
Uh-huh.
was cooking in the kitchen last week when we had that.
Yeah.
Yep. I do.
Well, this is very possible, Rossi, because he keeps saying something's coming on the 20th. And there was a buildup, supposed to be there were military orders to go to the border. So I don't know. Yeah. But
Well, and that's a very special day. For a
well,
lot.
it is. Yes. The man that wrote Mein Kampf's birthday. And
Yeah, that too.
and
But
also it was the 19th, wasn't it? Or was the 19th was the Oklahoma City bombing.
yeah.
And it was also a few years earlier than that was Waco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Oops. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add to this? I just, you woke up exhausted this morning. Sally, you're right. We're all in each other's conscious and unconsciousness.
Mhm,
You're
we
absolutely
You
are.
know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have conversations with you guys.
Yeah.
And not just you girls. I mean, everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
I wake up talking to you. I know that there's, like we're
Yeah.
all chucking and jiving or doing serious work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, Thomas. It's nice to see you.
Like
You know-
the picture I drew yesterday.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, with these
Yeah.
little squares. And the voice every single time I woke, which wasn't always to get out of bed, it just woke me up because I moved or I was doing something and the voice would wake me saying, no, you have to put it back this way. And then they always went back to the square with the triangle in front of
Uh-huh. You know who I wonder? I wonder if it's Pete.
Oh,
Because Pete is about 45, isn't he? Buttigieg?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about that.
Oops, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. That's the I'm putting it up and it's like, no, that's not what it was what Linda had said. Here it is. Dark-haired man, 45, leader of a country, was really tired, but working with a vengeance. Well, and Vance isn't quite, he's like not just turning 40 or something like that. He's not quite 45.
He's not even existent.
Yeah. Wow. So I don't want to forget to tell you guys about this, but when I woke up the other day, Pam Drennan, my friend who does the calibration, she had sent me a video about dreams, and I sent it along to Kelly, who ended up watching it. I watched it. I don't know if Diane has had a chance yet, but yeah,
Halfway through it, but the dentist was, it's your turn.
yeah. Well, I think the beginning of it is the most important part. And that is, he tells us by the time you reach 86 years old, you would have dreamt for 6 years.
Yes.
And
That was wild.
And he said, there has to be something important about that this is the way that we live on the planet. And so, and people are now again telling me that they absolutely are remembering their dreams now. So a lot of it is, purpose. You have a purpose, you want to remember them, and a lot of other people are awakening in a lot of other different ways. So 6 years of dreaming, wow.
Really? No, and how many, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm blessed enough to remember some of my dreams from my childhood, partially because they were repetitive.
Yeah.
And
If
so
I write them down when I was younger and I have them and I see them again, I remember everything. I can remember everything.
And it's like that grocery list you don't take to the store that you left on the kitchen counter.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you remember it.
Oh, that's nice, Thomas. He welcomes being woke up by Diana. That
Oh.
way.
Thank you, Thomas. I love you too, baby.
So Diane G says, Paul, it makes sense. I've been on Tegeda this week. There were many Pleiadian starships there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh,
I love
Tegeda.
that.
do you remember too, Diana, that you had these little black box and filled in that dream, and that morning I had seen close-up pictures of Mars that had this black.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Aley, they're not exactly the same, but when those pictures that you sent first got to me, they looked like the stripes that opened up that the solar flares blasted out of. I had to look twice to make sure that those were Mars pictures and not the sun.
Yeah.
But the ones of the sun, of course, the sun was rotated, and so some of them were on a slant. But that one that it's like a guy sitting in the chair and it goes straight across on Mars.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like this on the sun.
Yeah.
Now, what if, when you stab a knife in and you leave it straight in, the way you pull it out is going to be the same scar. Straight in, straight out, it's going to be the same.
True.
So what if that portal on Mars is come home, baby, come home, and the starship that comes out of the sun goes straight into Mars.
There you go. Well, I don't think anybody has seen anything but reddish rock or reddish brownish, not black or blue,
or blue,
so,
or
whatever it was. Oh, I like this. Thank you for bringing that up, Zelensky.
Oh,
he did tell him. He did tell him to come over on 60 Minutes. By the way, watch the 60 Minutes because he's on there, and then afterwards Greenland's on there, and that's when Greenland said that Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland back in the day, and he wants to sue them now. He's trying to get 60 Minutes sued for having those having those two stories.
What did I'm looking at my phone in my lap. I wanted to look up the 33rd parallel.
I saw that. It's down in and they're saying that there's going to be some kind of Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona are supposed to be putting together like chip factories in those 3 states so that workers can go there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so this is the 33rd parallel. Oh.
All down the bottom.
All down across the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And what had woken me, I was meditating, and what heard that I was out loud was the rock people saying, "What are you going to do about the 33rd? What are you going to do about 33? What are you going to do about 33?" And because it was the rock people's voices, I automatically went to you guys because Teri channels rock people. And she's the one who did the deep dive and came up with Truman dropping the bomb and what was going on with the market that day, the bomb that was dropping on the market, and the bonds with China, and just all of that stuff. So, and then she also said the ley lines and the 33rd parallel. Well, you guys are going to Sedona. That's all that stuff. That's down there through the.
Well, and I was going to say that Harry Truman inherited a lot in New Mexico.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Eisenhower and him were pretty damn connected to the ethereal and the space cadets up there.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know, everybody.
I still have chills because we're dancing all around this and we can't come up with a total idea.
Well, and we will. It will be revealed. Yeah. Oh yes, he put him in a spot because he was saying he was willing to pay for the weapons, and so if he pays him, then he's going against the other man, and if he doesn't pay them, then he's not promoting a stop to the war. So he's in a real precarious situation. Yeah, he's in a pickle, all right. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, happy birthday, Linda Bishop.
Yeah.
Well, for heaven's sakes. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday, girlfriend.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep. And the 33rd parallel runs through Phoenix. Yep. It's all down in that area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I should have included you in that too. Sally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uh-huh. That's true. That's very true. All right. Well, that is Linda Bishop. I think we're going to know more about this,
Yes.
within a period of time. Yeah.
And let's look for 33 days. Is that, let's see, when is Sedona? June 8th, June 7th? It's right around that time, around my birthday.
Okay. Why would they go in the summer? I don't understand. That's too hot there. Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was June 14th or 15th.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
We went in
Well,
May when we went to Linda's, and that was a little bit hot, but this would be really hot. Yeah. My friend, her ex-husband always wanted to go to Disney World in July. And I thought,
Oh, no.
I went.
that's what made me think of it. That's what just made me think of it. Yeah. Anyway,
I went.
I know everybody will be in a cool room and everything will be all
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's true.
The 15th through
You're
the
only on
19th.
at night.
Oh, the 15th to the 19th. Okay. So the next person we have is Barbara Berkman, and this is her dream. I wanted to share a dream with you. I don't know if you can talk about it, but maybe you can give me some of your ideas. I was in a split level type house I did not recognize. There was a young boy and an adult female with me in the house. I didn't recognize them either. In fact, I really didn't even feel like myself, felt younger. I was looking out the window, admiring the moon. You may have been in a past life, hon. It was so bright and salmony pink. Well, that would have been the pink moon, wouldn't it?
Yes.
All of a sudden, a large ball of light appeared next to the moon. It had a large curving tail and was moving through the sky in a very haphazard manner. When all of a sudden it turned completely around and it felt as if it was coming after us. We ran as fast as we could to get back to the house, and then I woke up.
Yeah, I think it was a past life coming back with tons of memories for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like not knowing what it was, not realizing what it was, trying to keep it from catching up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep,
And
yep,
in our discussion about some of your past lives, Barbara,
mm-hmm.
because I did a reading for her.
Okay.
So that may have also triggered this flight, or
Mhm.
fight.
Right. Yep. June 14th is also his birthday, and there's supposed to be a big military parade.
The streets of DC can hardly handle 3,000 motorcycles, let alone tanks.
I know. But that's in that time period we were talking about. That's all. Yeah. Kel, what are you thinking about Barbara's dream?
Barbara, I definitely agree. I think it was a past life, your galactic family. I think, the pink moon was obviously it wasn't pink, but pink can also resemble the love that you had for your family. And there again, you mentioned the second floor, so there too you were ascending and you were intuitive even back then in that life.
Yeah. Oh, I missed some of this. I apologize. Let me see what I missed. The thing likes to do this to the thing. Let's see. Before she ran out as fast as she could, she said everybody ran out of the house to watch it, and that's when the energy was low enough that they could see it through the trees, and we ran and kept watching it with us. But then it was turning around and it's like it had a life of its own, right?
Exactly. I did draw some cards.
Okay.
And the first card that came out was balance. So if we assimilate this to the past lives that we saw for you, this is a way to help heal. Sorry, my own fault. Heal and rebalance yourself.
Wow.
What I like is we have all of these 4 sections of healing,
Mhm.
right? 4 quarters to the moon, 4 directions in the sky. And time is of no matter because it's an orb. It isn't really a line.
That's true.
Right?
It's not linear either. Yeah.
Right. And then you get to manifest healing from turning and facing those things. So just the fact that you remembered the dream is turning to face it. And that you're trying to analyze it, it's turning to face it.
Okay.
So what you should start doing is keeping a record of your dreams. So we have record, and you I love it.
Today is a record also because the solar storms are so bad. They're 3 times worse than they ever are. And so we're getting record, and with that ball of light, you have to wonder if that's the sun. And yeah.
And not only that, could it possibly, oh my God, yes, the balance of the sun and moon together, and we had just come off of the full moon.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And the sun is doing us in when it does that. Look at that big sun.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's inspire. And so, take what you can from this, Barbara, and let it be inspiring, inspire you as far as even, the galactics, the sun, the moon, and all of that. I think that too is just going to help you with your upgrades and level up and this.
You also made a sun and moon today, Barbara?
She makes fabulous talismans. They are so. You can just feel the energy. Her interpretation and the concentration that she's putting into this. You can feel it when you just look at a picture of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Sonia, you said you have a headache. This isn't good to be outside, everybody. And
No.
I know people have to go outside.
Yeah.
Diana said that when she's outside, she can hardly walk.
I'm not kidding. It's peeling my feet. And there was no sunshine today, but the wind was so bad that I couldn't open the door to the dentist's office. I couldn't hold my car door open for me to get out of the car.
Wow.
And I couldn't get the door open because it was against the wind. And once I got inside, it was like, I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted.
Can I just fall asleep in the chair?
Just like Kaylee was when she got where she was going. Yeah.
It's terrible. But the minute the sun goes down, even on a gray day, when the sun goes down, I feel better just because the sun is not bearing down on us. Ultraviolet comes through clouds, it comes through glass, it goes through clothing.
Right.
So we all have to keep a bottle of sunblock in your pocket.
They're just horrific this last few months. Yeah.
These past 3, the one that went off on the 14th was actually 4 of them, and another one went off today. And we're going to be in this cycle at least until the 17th from the previous one. So the one that went off today is going to catch us. And then that big coronal hole is coming back. It's almost facing us again. So,
my goodness. Kelly, thoughts about, could she have seen a comet? Maybe she would have, right?
Oh, sure. Sure. You know, because there are comets during these times that float right into the sun, and what do they call them, headhunter or whatever, they just go in and burn up in the sun. But I was watching one of those videos, and there was an object in the sky, and this was an odd object, and I said, could that possibly be Vulcan, that mythical planet that astrologers will not let go of because we know it's there. And then he came back and said, oh no, that's not possible, that's just a myth, that doesn't exist. Yes, it does. You're studying astrology. Don't argue with me. You and I both know it's there. You're just trying to appease NASA or your astronomy.
Oh, absolutely. Don't you know that?
They're looking for funding.
Well, not only that, but your eyes deceive you, that you're not seeing what you think you see, and that has to continue in every form that it's it's just ridiculous.
And what if Vulcan is just the spaceship that Spock came from?
There you go.
that flies right into Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. All right. So thank you, Barbara. I hope that helps. It was fascinating.
I love
As
that.
all of these dreams are, they all seem to have some connection to each other, honestly. Yeah, they really do.
The more we talk about it, the more connected it's all going to be. You wait, sooner or later we'll crack.
Oh, yeah. Now, I have this post from US Steel, and then I have part 1, but I don't see part 2, but I'll go back and see if I can find it. Hold on, because I have some other ones. You had said in this one that you have a dream that a spirit is trying to jump into your body. You can start by talking about that, ladies, if you wouldn't mind, and then I'll go see if I can find part 2 of another dream that she had. So
I have a recurring dream that a spirit or something is trying to jump into my body. You know, okay, so the first thing that is coming to my mind is the opening scene. Boy, why are you crying? Because I've lost my shadow. This is you.
Okay.
This is the opening scene of Peter Pan, the play. I just got chills. This is you catching up to you, your past self catching up to you. The things from your past lives that haunt us as we go forward. What did you call it? The where we make the choice to come back in a life that is in the Bhagavad Gita?
Well, yeah, it's moksha, but that's when you say you don't want to come back anymore,
right,
or you don't have to.
Yeah. But this is like, why'd you come back? You had the choice to make, and you came back, so now I got to follow you. And boy's trying to put it on with a bar of soap. But Wendy says, no, you got to sew it on. Soap isn't going to stick.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Okay.
So it's a choice. Did we find the other part?
No, I can't go back that far for some reason. So if you could put in the other, but she does say, sometimes it's a negative experience, sometimes it's positive. When I get this dreaming body jump sensation, when it's negative, I know that it's getting ready to happen because I get this full body shudder sensation, an electrical charge. It's like everything's moving in slow-mo.
Kelly, what do you think?
To me, it feels like she's being jumped.
Time jumped, you mean?
Well,
or spirit jumped?
Well, both, but I feel like she's being spirit jumped, that somebody's trying to hijack her. And,
okay.
A walkthrough, or or her hybrid self is trying to catch her.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, fortunately, she hasn't had one in a few months. I've been working on increasing my boundaries and self-esteem, and that seems to help with the bad. Bringing your vibration up would put those things off you. That's very true. Yeah.
And protection and whatnot.
Sonia Claiborne, go ahead and put in your dream. That's fine, and I'll highlight it.
So there's a synchronicity trying to catch up to you. So that's the first card. Sorry, I keep losing the camera here. Synchronicity.
Yeah.
And this, now look at this is the jumping, right? Because how many moons do we have out there in the rings? And looking like Saturn, or just another offshore universe planet. And then it is to observe. So everything that you have been observing, every time you have these, like this electrical charge, and I got to bring this up because do you taste it as well? You feel it, and you know you feel it in your spine, but do you taste it? When you were a kid, did you ever take those button 1.2 volt batteries and think you for a moment because it was so much fun? Well, I get that taste for the past 6-7 days now. That taste has been in my mouth. There's certain metals I can touch especially when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I would taste the electricity that the metal itself conducts.
Yeah.
So what around you is a metal that activates you, that charges you up, that is the positive to the negative, or the vice versa, the negative to the positive. So that is something for you to observe and keep track of and make a record.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. There was something. Kelly, you have something to say, honey?
Yeah, I gotta prove, and I think, you know, for you, you don't need to allow this, and so I first of all, I would clear your energy, I would cut your cords, and really put protection around you, and you can tell your angels and your guides and call on Archangel Michael for protection. And just tell them that, you know, nobody has access to your body. And I would also do it to your house. And there's other things that you can do for protection too. You know, you can put salt out, you know, in front of your bedroom door, you know, through your front door, your windowsills and whatnot. I mean, that's just a couple tips that I would do. If what I said resonates with you, if it doesn't, you know, it's fine, because there's, you know, it could be something else, but that's what I'm picking up on. And so just to make sure that, you know, you have the power to say who comes in to your space.
Right. Nobody has the right to interfere with you. And if you're feeling that. Mary says she understands what you mean, Diana, about the metal. I've had that happen too. Yeah. I get purpose, S. Steele. I'm wondering if you know, you're just being reminded of what your purpose is. And when maybe your energy is low or your vibration is low, they want you to remember that you have the power to make that. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. Leah had a dream that a stranger was all up in your environment or up in your grill. I love it when somebody says, "You're up in my grill." And he was weird, like from a different type of person, weird hair. I had to deal with him, but it was so uncomfortable. Well, somebody was up in your grill like that, I'd be uncomfortable too. I don't even know if I want people that I really love to be up in my grill.
Right?
So,
me either.
Yeah.
And
boundaries.
Yeah.
Leah, you've just been through a lot.
You have.
And because of that, just think of all of the negative energy that is over with, but you had to go through it to get out of it. And that's what that was. I think that stranger definitely represents all of that rhetoric.
Sure. Very, very possible, dear.
And do not have any regrets. Do not have any regrets on this. Oh, I love this on the bottom of the deck. Because
freedom.
You now have freedom from it.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable idea of a dream for me. So I totally get it. Yeah, totally get it. Garnet, your first dream you had as a child reoccurring was falling down a whole tunnel backwards. I wondered if it had something to do with being born at home.
Frank Breach, besides.
Oh, yeah. That does sound breach. Were you breach? A breach birth?
Do you know?
Yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah. I remember, Garnet, that I, as a 6-year-old child, was worried that under my bed was a mouse hole that I could climb through that took me to another dimension.
Oh, Alice.
I know. And I didn't know anything about Alice in Wonderland at that time. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know what's a dimension. I don't know what that is.
Right.
But I remember being afraid if I went under the bed that I'd be gone, to somewhere else.
Holy smokes.
You make me want to watch Pan's Labyrinth tonight.
I think I watched something from Twilight Zone or something, and it scared me to death. I think that's what instigated it. But yeah. You know, when you're 6, you shouldn't be watching that shit. All right. What you got?
We'll,
Release? Okay.
we'll look at it, and it almost looks like the birthing canal.
Well,
It
it sure
does.
does.
Yeah.
Especially since fluid is going to come out with it.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Well,
Very, very true. Yeah. What did you get?
I got some of that too.
Patience? Oh, look at that. Wow. Garnet, do you know if you were breech birth? You know?
It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking to see if he's still here.
My mom was born at home too in
Uh-huh.
1928 or 27.
Yeah. My mother was,
dining
all her
room
sisters
table.
were. Yeah. Yeah. They were all born. All right. I don't know if he's still here. But anyway, that was a good share, Garnet. I hope you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
All
not,
right.
do hope you catch the replay.
Pamela heard someone say right before she woke up, "You're doing very well. And if that
Ooh.
continues, we will make you commander." Then I saw 3 ships that looked like small rockets.
Paul, are you
Whoa.
still there, Paul? Paul, were you talking to her?
Maybe.
Commander Paul.
So I had a situation where Keith told me, this was a couple of weeks ago. He said to me, right before he fell asleep. He said in his ear, he heard me say something like, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was something like, "You need to work on yourself," or something like that. And it scared him. And he looked, and I was asleep way over on the other side of the king bed. There was no, and I never, so I thought maybe I said it in my sleep, but no, he said it was in his ear. So I think there's a lot of this stuff going on that we're
There's
hearing.
a lot of that stuff. Annie heard me talking to her one morning, and it was like at 4 a.m., which I would have been sleeping, which makes me think that maybe it was in my sleep. And then my mom said just last week that she heard me talking to her too. So there's a lot of this going on.
Yep.
He did.
Mhm. Wow.
I just, he's got the whole world.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And what do
I
you got?
got Soul Star activation.
Mm.
And it says fulfilling your soul contracts, remembering who you are.
What a
Okay.
gorgeous Which is a lot of us are doing that right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Amy Elizabeth, you woke up and you were saying Jackson, Mississippi, but you have no connection to that.
Jackson.
Wait to see if something shows up.
Right.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Oh, and Lauren, you're hearing women talking in your left ear for many days recently.
It's happening to everybody. That's
Everyone.
just crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I was all
Write
by
down
myself.
what you hear, everybody. Write
Mhm.
down what you hear.
Write down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was all by myself with the dogs in a very quiet nook in the woods, nobody else around.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people talking.
Oh.
3 voices, couldn't discern what they were saying because 3 of them were talking.
At the
And
same
far
time.
enough away, and there was nobody there. I mean, my car
Uh-huh.
was the only car in the lot.
Okay.
And this is like in the middle of the whole damn park. So there's nobody walking in.
Mm-hmm.
How did
This
you
is
feel?
8-acre ranch.
Did it give you anxiety, or were you fine?
No, I was just looking like, God, say it again so I can understand.
And then you may be starting to hear things in light language. That just came to me that you may not know what it means.
Oh.
And you may be hearing it in light language. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yep. Wow. All right. Mama Sushi had flashes the last 3 months of myself and my daughter in a new apartment, but it doesn't really involve my husband. Is there a way to integrate this universal advice / timeline? You could have had a glimpse of, it's not deja vu, it's preview. It's like a preview. Yeah.
right?
Precognition. Yeah, could be. Doesn't mean you're going to see yourself as your age now or later. It's just, it's like a flash. That sounds like a flash, doesn't it, ladies?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Wow.
And is his health good?
I have to tell you about a video I saw this morning. It was a lady looking out of her apartment down into the back, or her house down into the backyard. And there's all this trash there. There's white bags, and it's like she was living in California and she had to separate her trash. It wasn't a mess, but it was, it was trash. You could see it. And then she went downstairs and went out the back door, and there's no trash there. There's nothing there. So some people are slipping timelines.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. She went back upstairs, looked out the window, and it was there. So, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And I think it was Carolyn Booker said at one point, or somebody in the chat a couple of months ago said that they looked out the window of their upstairs room and looked out, and it was like 1859 or something. And there was no neighbors and, stuff like that. Yeah.
And this is going to start happening more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we got hollow bone.
Ah,
That is what Native Americans call the soothsayers. The shaman is a hollow bone.
okay.
People who can predict and
Predict the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then here comes this crossing card again.
Oh,
So
okay. Crossing over in dimension or timeline. Yeah.
And so look at it as precognitive.
Yeah. And it might not be that your husband isn't with you. He's just not with you when you see what you see.
I
Right?
agree with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very possible. Like
Yeah.
he's at work.
Don't let
or
that
he's-
panic you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He could be on
Yeah.
a business trip. He could be
Right.
off somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll catch up to you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
That he's just busy. That he's just not right. He's not.
He went to
there.
work and you get to unpack the boxes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
never
what
happens.
That's always the best way, You take care of the dishes and you'll have to
right.
wash them from the newspaper and yeah.
You're not doing this fast enough. You didn't go to work. You went to the apartment and read a newspaper for how many hours?
You get to the point when you move so many times, you just rather take all that stuff and throw it in the trash.
Yeah, right. Or, no, I wanted to throw it at him.
At him. Okay.
Did you see the way these people left this house? Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm. So play, love, remember, this was earlier. I know you posted this like probably half an hour ago, but when we were talking about being tired. And so this is what we're hearing. We're hearing people having different timelines, people being tired, people waking up and saying words or hearing people and I think it's going to start continuing to be the new norm for us all.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Yeah.
And expect every day to be a new normal.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Even I saw Dave Johnson was talking about contact. He was talking about contact, not that other people have already had contact, but this is like open contact. And it's not far. Right.
All at once.
Yeah.
I wonder if that could be what's coming in a 33. What are you going to do about 33?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then Julianne said about 33 that it's sacred to the Masonic order. It predates Christ. And yes, that's right. My husband's a 33 degree Mason. So yeah, I absolutely get it. Yeah. Yep. And Thomas shared with us when he was younger and bigger with sleep apnea, I could fall asleep and had seemed like multi-hour dreams and only been sleeping 5 minutes. Wow.
That's amazing.
You were on fast forward, Thomas.
Yeah.
That's really something. Wow.
Well, and that's just how fast thoughts come and go.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Think
about if you don't stop for a second and look at it while it's going, it's gone. How many times do we forget what we're saying because we didn't say it
right?
fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, this is pretty funny. In a dream almost 25 years ago, I remember being asked, "Do you want to come back?" I remember saying, "Hell no." And then I think I heard, "Well, then buckle up, Buttercup." That's a good one, Anya.
Yeah.
That's a good
And isn't
one.
that the truth? Holy
Right?
cow.
True. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Sonia put her dream in. A few months ago, I had a dream that I was at a new place, not sure if I was working or whatever. And there were 3 or 4 others around me that it was as if had no shame or judgment. Okay. Let me see if I can find the second part of this. I ended up in a classroom with these other people doing science. We were creating something to put in a sphere, is something to help the world, I guess. I don't know what they put in. I watched each one of those 2 throw theirs, an implosion happened and they disappeared. And then I took my sphere with my seed and threw it out the spaceship. And it is as if the green everything, there's fears, but in my sphere, I had to put a seed. I didn't realize we were in space, but each one of us took our sphere with our creation and tossed it out of the
I think
spaceship. Okay.
that next one should come after this one, right? The one that you just read.
I read it wrong. I'm sorry. I turned green and it was as if the earth was created, and it was strange. From there, I was on the earth and I walked up to this lush green hill to an old elder. She had water and the children were carrying. This sounds almost like you were there at the beginning of the Garden of Eden.
Yep. This is
Doesn't
where
it?
we can't,
Yeah,
right? It's
it
the
does.
birth. It's the birth.
Yeah. Wow.
So you're an angel.
Uh-huh.
You have that highest connection to creator source, whether we choose to call you space trucker, space cadet, angel.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Space cadet.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm trying to get these other things. Oh, all right. Hold on. There's a lot of things that I didn't.
Oh,
What you got?
the Garden of Venus.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Rest and renewal.
That's you. That's you. You were at the beginning, first breath. Can't make
oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, it really did.
There's
The
the
more she went
explosion.
into it, the seed and all the other things. And,
and
the
the explosion.
it would make sense people came here in a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got this, and look at the lush green
Oh my
being
God.
behind, and it says "Forge, don't follow." Pave a new path. Be the leader that you wish you had.
Yeah. Very interesting, Sonia.
Oh,
And lastly, I got revisit. So it's someplace
Yep.
you're revisiting.
and look at that house in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lit up
That's
like a
spaceship. Yeah. So Paul says, my private ship and the Athena are ladies Octurians, but the command ship is new and is male. His name is Spear, and the ship is Michael's Spear. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Maureen says she's been dreaming about the French Revolution still, seeing the current U.S. cabinet being led to the prisons, and I see Stephen Miller's demise, and I wake up.
Thank you, Maureen. This is,
Yeah.
I did a chart.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the very first, or this, I did it with Marina.
Uh-huh.
Heart
Yep.
Center Pro. And the War of 1812 is the war that we have to pay attention to. I know people are comparing a lot of this to World War II and the American Revolution, but this is, we got to pay attention to Napoleon and how he fits into all of this and what went on during the War of 1812. And remember, that was also fought on our shores and Canada's shores.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. Wowee. All right. A lot of people are having Miller it seems to me to be the propaganda minister brought back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's brought
Totally.
back. Hold on. I want to get back to something at the end, but I don't want to miss out. Jules had 2 dreams after years of not holding me down types of dreams. One has tested my spiritual growth. The most recent was asphyxiating her. She went out of body, and when she realized, she began to open her eyes and breathe to fight and live. 3 men trying to abuse me or end my life, and one wore a fedora. That's French Revolution, isn't it? Isn't that?
Well, the fedora is like the hats that Humphrey Bogart wore.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not
know.
with a feather. Not with a feather. Okay. All right.
That's a fez.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
That's frightening.
well, that also can Men in Black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what's one of the greatest fears? Power over you, because being attacked, being abused physically, sexually is about power. It's not about the act.
Right.
And so this is having power over you. And I understand those scary dreams. And it could be also something that happened in a past life.
It could be. Yep. Yep.
During like 1920s, 30s, 40s.
That's what I'm getting to.
In Europe, in France, where, you know, a lot of ugly stuff went on all over, but France had a bad reputation. So dreams about fighting for our lives. We're feeling.
We're all fighting right now for our lives.
Right.
Yeah. There's no question.
Every single person on earth. Look at what happened a couple of days ago in Ukraine.
Little children in elementary schools and babies. And of course, what's still going on in Gaza. It's,
Julie, to me, it feels more like you're having, you're dreaming of a past life, and how horrifying to be having to relive that. But I'm too I have been dreaming about past lives, and it can be really frightening. I pulled 2 cards, and I got that you are receiving the messages.
Yeah.
And then I got to heal.
Wow.
And so part of this is to just to help you along to heal. And you always got to look for the silver lining. I mean, it really sucks when we have these dreams, but when we can have them and work through them, it really does. I mean, it heals us, and it just propels us, you know, further and higher up too. So as hard as it is, I don't think you have anything to worry about being attacked, you know, in your bed, so to say now. But yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like it's mafia, that they were coming in and
and she said she summoned God, angels, and guides to help get these guys away.
It does. And look, you have an Art Deco looking angels there holding the earth, and that's Art Nouveau.
Wow.
Style.
Yeah,
that is so 1930s, and the mob during the 30s, during the days of Prohibition. And Callie, what you were just saying brings this card even more so into play. The dream thief. What keeps us from facing our fears and being able to the refusal of facing that and getting rid of that fear that's haunting us, the shadow work.
Yeah. And Rossi said she had a dream. She couldn't breathe. She thought she slept. See, all these crossovers are amazing, and they're just happening more and more and more. Bemused shaman dreamt that aliens had put in a bike track in their giant spaceship, and I was there testing it out. So humans will be staying.
I love that.
There probably are humans visiting.
Yeah. Right. Hey, you know those humans, they like to ride their bikes, you know? That's great.
We'll keep them busy.
Yeah.
You're going to be shorter and you're going to be younger. than
Wow.
your twin brother.
Uh-huh. That's for sure. Well, we are about an hour and 15 minutes in, and so we're going to probably shut down here in a minute or so.
Oh, it's
But
so hard to say goodbye.
I can't express enough, everybody, to please write the day this happens, write the dream, write the
Yes.
words, write what, you woke up yesterday on April 14th and this happened.
Yep.
And
I
then,
even begun
yeah,
saying
Yeah.
early in the morning, 4
Yeah.
o'clock, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Because I wake up and I have a good idea of what time it is, or I specifically look, because those are numbers, right?
Mhm.
And Deb Zackow can help us figure that out if we don't
Yeah.
figure it out on our own.
Yeah, very much so. So yes, Rossi, that makes sense to keep our muscles going, because look what happened to, was it Suman or whatever that gal's name was that was up there longer than she should have been? That was
All of them.
devastating to her body. Yeah.
Yeah, there and
Yeah.
after so long, your skin kind of detaches too.
Yeah,
Not
it does.
scare you
Yeah.
folks or anything, but
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just a
absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And and thank you for sharing when something resonates and you say, oh, that happened to me too. That happened to me too. This is important because the
It
connection
is so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
Absolutely.
for all of us, we have
Uh-huh.
the magician's sword,
Okay. There you
right?
go.
Confidence is your magic.
There you go.
I love
right.
it.
Swing
Thank you,
it back
Patrick,
and forth.
Amy, and everybody that came in. I didn't get to say hi to every one of you, and we appreciate every single one of you. So,
Exactly.
yeah, thank you so much for being here with
Beautiful
us tonight.
show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You guys, you're the ones who bring your dreams here. We wouldn't have anything to talk about otherwise.
Yeah. Yep. We love and appreciate you all.
Absolutely. And check it out on Thursday. I'm going to be on with Diana and Paul White Dragon. We should have a very interesting show. So check it out and come and see us. Oh,
Yeah.
Jules, you have a bedside binder. Oh, what a
Awesome.
girl. What a girl. That's great. Bye, everybody.
Love that.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Sweet dreams.
Bye-bye. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams.